Was Cleopatra beautiful? Undoubtedly. Was she seductive? Probably. Was she politically astute and determined enough to use both her sexuality and immense power to serve her own ambitions? Absolutely. Perhaps no historical figure has inspired as much passion and debate as Cleopatra. Destined to be the last ruler of her dynasty, the Egyptian pharaoh used her charm and political acumen to advance the interests of ancient Egypt. All this as Rome's power continued to expand across the Mediterranean world. Although she remains one of the most famous women in history, historians and archaeologists still cannot say with certainty who Cleopatra truly was. Below are some of the things known about this legendary, yet deeply mysterious Queen of Egypt. Born into the royal family of Egypt, to King Ptolemy XII Alyattes, and an unknown mother in 69 BC, Cleopatra was a descendant of the ancient Greek Ptolemaic dynasty that had taken control of Egypt in 305 BC. Although the Ptolemaic kingdom had adopted some Egyptian religious traditions, they ruled from the city of Alexandria, which remained largely Greek in culture. As a result, she grew up speaking Koine Greek. Though she was said to be the only member of her dynasty who also learned the Egyptian language, her life became deeply intertwined with the turmoil in Egypt and the politics of the Roman Empire through two of Rome's greatest leaders, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. When her father died in 51 BC, Cleopatra, then 18, was drawn into a dispute over which of Ptolemy XII's children would rule Egypt. At first, she quarreled with her brother Ptolemy XIII and, following Egyptian tradition, even married him to legitimize their shared throne. But the young king wanted the throne for himself, and civil war soon erupted, as rival factions fought for absolute power. In response, Cleopatra was forced to flee for a short time to Syria, which was under Roman control. Her father had long sympathized with and depended on Rome throughout his reign. The two ambitious siblings were no different, and soon they aligned themselves with opposing factions in Rome's own simmering civil war. From her exile in Syria, Cleopatra sought the help of Julius Caesar, then a general and statesman aiming to become Rome's sole ruler. With his influence, she planned to reclaim her throne and restore her power over Egypt. When Cleopatra met Julius Caesar, he was 52, more than 30 years older, and already married. Yet, despite the difference, they soon began a romantic bond. Caesar soon pledged his full support to her cause. In 47 BC, while fleeing Caesar's army, Ptolemy XIII drowned in the Nile near Alexandria. With Egypt now in Caesar's hands, Cleopatra reclaimed her throne and married her 12-year-old brother Ptolemy XIV. Cleopatra's relationship with Caesar continued until his assassination on the Ides of March, 44 BC. He was killed by his enemies in the Roman Senate. At the time, Cleopatra was visiting Rome, staying near Caesar's estate. Soon after, she returned to Egypt. Historians believe she ordered her brother's death by poison before ruling again with Caesar. Caesar was dead, but Cleopatra's connection with Rome was far from over. Mark Antony had risen to power as one of Rome's three joint rulers, known as the Triumvirate. He requested a meeting with Cleopatra to strengthen the alliance between Rome and Egypt. Cleopatra agreed to meet him in Tarsus, in what is now Turkey, in 41 BC. She arrived in royal splendor aboard a magnificent golden barge. Art historian Diana A.E. Kleiner wrote in her book, Cleopatra and Rome, that the Queen's sea voyages were lavishly staged. Cleopatra chose her costumes, divine symbols, fabrics, jewelry, music, and exotic scents with great care. She wanted to impress and she succeeded, Almost immediately, she began a passionate romance with Antony, who was already married. He soon moved to Alexandria to live with her. Antony's deep infatuation with Cleopatra and their lavish life together in Egypt soon became their downfall. The Roman ruler plunged into open war against his fellow triumvirs and his own people. Many Romans resented what they saw as Egypt's growing influence over their empire. After Antony's defeat at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, the end was near. Cleopatra locked herself in her royal tomb and sent word she intended to take her own life. In despair, Antony stabbed himself and died in her arms.
Like this. My love.
Cleopatra tried to negotiate with Octavian, the former ally of her lover. But when she realized he planned to capture her and parade her through Rome as a trophy, she made her final choice. She and her attendants locked themselves inside her tomb and took their own lives, likely by poison. Her dynasty came to an end, and Egypt was annexed by Rome. Legend says Cleopatra ended her life with a venomous cobra, but no proof has ever been found. Archaeologists have never discovered the tomb where she, and perhaps Antony. As writer Chip Brown noted for National Geographic in July 2011, much of ancient Alexandria now lies about 6 meters underwater. Yet history hunters like lawyer and archaeologist Kathleen Martinez continue to search for her lost tomb. It's impossible to know how accurate the old stories about Cleopatra truly are. Different coins show her in very different ways, revealing mixed views from their makers. Scholars still argue about her race, though the idea of race didn't exist in her time. Most writings about Cleopatra were lost when the Library of Alexandria burned. Ancient historian Plutarch wrote one of the few detailed accounts of her life. He described her as radiant in beauty and brilliant in mind. But he wrote long after her death, shaped by Roman views of Egypt. Though we may never fully understand Cleopatra's life, her legacy still endures today. From Shakespeare's play to modern shows, she is remembered as a clever ruler with almost supernatural charm. While her cunning was real, we may never know why such powerful men fell under her spell. What is certain is that Cleopatra ruled with wisdom and allure, captivating hearts for over 2,000 years.
Cleopatra understood power better than any Roman senator, watch you. She played politics like a grandmaster. Her alliance with Julius Caesar wasn't just passion, Guruklius, it was survival. By the time she met Mark Antony, she knew exactly how to use love as a weapon. Rome feared Cleopatra because she could control its strongest men without raising an army. Her death didn't end Egypt's story, Clerks. It began Rome's empire.
Cleopatra wasn't purely Egyptian for Hades, but she ruled Egypt with unmatched devotion. Her ability to speak Egyptian set her apart from the Ptolemies before her. Her tomb remains a mystery, Haraj, a secret the sands refuse to give up. We keep searching because finding her means rewriting history itself. Cleopatra's true power wasn't gold or armies. Plunket, it was her mind.
Cleopatra mastered the art of perception flesh. She became whatever her world needed her to be.
To Caesar, she was intellect. To Antony, she was emotion. To Rome, she was fear.
Her mind was her mirror, reflecting power until it blinded those who looked too long. Cleopatra didn't lose Bacchus. She chose her ending before Rome could write it for her. Her legend survives because she refused to be forgotten.
Cleopatra was never just beauty, Vejiti. She was strategy in human form. She made men her allies by making them believe they ruled her. Every gesture, every word of Pharaoh calculated like a move in war. Cleopatra used charm as a weapon sharper than any sword. Even in death, she chose control, Tejas. Her final act was still her own.
Most of Cleopatra's world now sleeps beneath 6 meters of sea, but the tomb still hides, untouched, waiting for the right eyes to see it. If we find her, we find the truth Rome tried to bury. Until then, Cleopatra remains both lost and eternal.
The queen is gone, but Rome has only just begun.